mynews.studio.
Imagine opening your mailbox, and instead of a bill, you find a letter saying your medical debt, maybe thousands of dollars, has been wiped out. That actually happened in Pittsburgh. So how did churches there pull this off? And could something like this work elsewhere?
Today's date is January 18th, 2026. Let's dig into the details. Over 100 Presbyterian churches in Pittsburgh raised $75,000. Now, that doesn't sound like it could erase $14 million in debt, right?
Exactly. It seems impossible at first, but here's the key. The churches teamed up with a nonprofit called Undo Medical Debt. This group buys medical debt on what's called the secondary market, where it sells for just pennies on the dollar. So for every dollar donated, they can clear about $200 of debt.
Wait, can you walk me through that secondary market part? Why are these debts sold so cheaply?
Sure, hospitals and debt collectors often sell unpaid medical bills to third parties because collecting the full amount is unlikely. The value drops sharply, so organizations like Undo Medical Debt can buy whole portfolios for very little and then just forgive the debts.
Is this something that's unique to the US? Or could a community in, say, France or Sweden try something similar?
The US really has a unique setup for buying and selling medical debt. In countries with universal health care, you simply don't see the same scale of unpaid bills. But the bigger idea here, community action to relieve debt, could be adapted, even if the method is different.
So, 12,500 families in Allegheny County are about to get letters saying their debt is gone. Does that relief last? What does the research say?
The immediate relief is clear. People feel a real weight lifted. But when you look at studies, like one from the National Bureau of Economic Research, the long-term effects on things like credit scores or mental health aren't as consistent. Still, Undo Medical Debt has heard from people who say the experience is life-changing.
So, there's this tension, the numbers versus the personal stories. Would you call this a real solution, or is it more of a temporary fix?
It's a bit of both. It makes a huge difference for individuals, but the system itself keeps producing new medical debt. The total in the US is around $220 billion. That isn't going away without bigger changes.
So, what would those bigger changes look like? Is it just about more donations? Or are we talking about something deeper?
Structural reform is crucial. Expanding Medicaid, making sure hospitals provide charity care, regulating how debts are sold, these are all steps that matter. Community efforts like Pittsburgh's help, but they can't solve everything on their own.
Do you think this kind of grassroots effort can grow, or will it always be just a small part of the solution?
It's actually growing. Undo Medical Debt has already cleared more than $22 billion for nearly 15 million people across the country. Big cities and even hospitals are getting involved. Still, unless the system changes, the underlying problem remains.
Why should someone outside Pittsburgh care about this? Is it really just a local story?
It's much more than local. This is a kind of blueprint. The details might be US specific, but the basic idea, communities coming together to solve problems that governments haven't, is universal. It makes you wonder what else could be tackled this way.
To sum up, $75,000 raised, $14 million in debt erased, 12,500 lives affected. But the bigger question is still there. Can communities fix systemic problems on their own? Or do we need both grassroots action and policy change?
That's really the heart of it. This story is full of hope, but it also points to the need for deeper solutions. Clearing debt is powerful, but stopping it from piling up in the first place would be even better.
Thanks for joining us as we explored how one city's faith communities turn small contributions into major relief and why that matters beyond Pittsburgh.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Try it out for free.